Es geht los.
As you guys can see, I'm missing my left eye.
There is a community that I am a part of.
You're unique. Do you not like anyone else?
Good evening, please.
I'm currently in a call with my friend, not responding anymore.
He's breathing really hard. You know he just had a seizure.
I built an arcade in my basement. This is my home.
You're in a whole different world.
Who cares what size you are, what gender you are?
I'm finally done gluing all the details on the sword.
Fans definitely go crazy when they see this card.
It's like one of the most badass things you could drive.
Totally game.
Three, two, one.
Geht los, Freunde. Geht los.
This is the PC Gaming Show. For the next 2 hours, we'll show you new footage and announcements for more than 40 games, including the next game from Dean Hall, the creator of DayZ, the world-exclusive debut of gameplay footage for Evil Genius 2, Ruthless Combat in Mortal Shell, Everspace 2, epic battles in A Total War Saga, Troy, Torchlight 3, what's coming in the next chapter of Elite Dangerous, Mafia Definitive Edition, a look at New World, Amazon's upcoming open-world MMO.
Why, hello there, PC Gaming Show.
Habt ihr's
Greg
gesehen?
Miller, just borrowing your broadcast.
Das kommt wahrscheinlich ganz am Ende, ey.
That later on, I'll be dropping in again to reveal one of my favorite franchises that's coming to PC for the first time ever. If you can name this tune, maybe you'll recognize what it is. See you later in the show.
Warum haben wir so Artefakte in dem Spiel? Ach, das ist von denen, okay. Oh, ich war schon ein bisschen.
And now your PC Gaming Show hosts, Day9 and Frankie Ward.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to the 2020 PC Gaming Show. I am one of your hosts today, Sean Day9 Plot, and I'm delighted to have you wherever you may be tuning in, Twitch or YouTube or Twitter. Welcome to our 6th annual event where we have over 2 hours of content, 50 plus games we're going to be looking at in the form of reveals, trailers, interviews that we've recorded in the last several weeks. Before we get into that, though, I want to take a moment to address the ongoing situation in America. While we're glad to be showing you some games today, there are many, many more people fighting for something far, far more important: the struggle against police violence and the systemic oppression of Black Americans. I and everyone who works on the PC Gaming Show each year, we know that Black lives matter, and this is not a fight that we are willing to stand on the sidelines for. So what can we all do? There's a great many organizations that deserve support right now, and one of them is the NAACP Legal Defense and Education Fund at naacpldf.org. If you want to support this and get some great games in the process, hundreds of developers have joined together at itch.io to create the Bundle for Racial Justice and Equality. It's a pay whatever you want for the bundle, and 100% of the proceeds go to the NAACP Fund and the Community Bail Fund. There's a lot more resources and information we'd like to share, so PC Gamer has created an ongoing list of ways that you can get involved in supporting protesters. That's at pcgamer.com/Black Lives Matter. Okay, we're gonna begin the reveals in a moment, but this wouldn't be a PC Gaming Show without my dear friend and co-host Frankie Ward joining us from the other side of the internet. Welcome, Frankie, and why don't you say hello?
Hey, welcome.
Hello, Sean, and hello to everyone watching around the world. We're really excited to be with you again, and Sean, I've prepared a veritable smorgasbord of PC gaming interviews, trailers, and announcements. This year's show features the most games we've ever presented, so grab your beverage of choice, because it's go time.
Thanks, Frankie, and I gotta say, your apartment looks quite a bit more like a music video than mine does. Maybe I should have sprung for better lighting. Either way, it's time for the PC Gaming Show. And as I said earlier, 50+ games. We've been talking to the developers, interviewing them for weeks now. And though it looks kind of empty here, I'm not alone. My beautiful assistant and good buddy DevBot. You may have seen him making his way over here. He is awaiting us. So let's go join him and get the show started. All right, DevBot, what do we have for this year's PC Gaming Show?
I've downloaded 50 game trailers and 10 interviews, Sean, along with a full report of the most secret gaming layer-friendly dogs, per your request. Australian Shepherds rank 4th among all dog breeds.
Oh, well, excellent. Well, what should we play first then?
Scanning. Processing. My readings indicate that the audience would like to see Vikings.
Well, that sounds great. Then let's kick it off with Valheim, a Viking survival game where you'll fight monsters, craft weapons, build and sail ships on an open ocean, all while exploring a procedurally generated landscape. Show me the game, DevBot.
Now loading Valheim.
Jetzt war ich kurz irritiert. Biergott, nein, man kann es nicht sagen, aber da das so krass exklusiv ist, also nicht exklusiv wichtig, denke ich schon, dass es eventuell ein bisschen dauern wird. Eratas, Moinsen. Guten Abend, Freunde. Die Grafik ist schon strange, gell? Das gucken wir uns ja an, 1900... Was? Das ist so... Ja, noch PlayStation 1 Grafik, geht das? Boah, glaubst du das? Was ist denn da los? Vielen Dank für dein Follow. Nice, servus. 60.000 Viewer. Ich hab 93. War auch geil. Luhucha, nein, das ist nicht nur. Alles auf den Button gelegt. Guck, jetzt haben wir nachher, wenn es losgeht, hau ich alles weg. Wenn so ein voller Button alles genau lesen. Das Video würde Spielen geben, ja, das ist komisch. Das machen ja viele so mit dem. Warum hört man diesen Alert? Ich verstehe es nicht.
The next game has been in the works for quite a while and is just
Vielen Dank
about
für
to
deinen
come
Follow,
out.
aber.
I've been following it the whole time, and if a game that features farming, creature collection, dance battles, and bears wearing pants sounds like your cup of tea, then it's time to put the kettle on and enjoy some ooblets.
So besser? Bin trotzdem verwirrt, warum man andauernd diesen... Besser, okay. Gyros. Ich check's trotzdem nicht, warum man andauernd... Okay, mal das komplett weg.
Sean, I've selected the next game for the PC gaming show.
Well, great. What do you got, DevBot?
The game is totally franchise.
Vielen Dank für dein Follow.
DevBot, you wouldn't have chosen this game because in Torchlight 3 you can play as a steam-powered robot, would you?
Lass mich mal kurz.
My game selections are entirely objective.
Ich check jetzt mal kurz diesen scheiß Alert ab in der Zeit. Follow.
Show me the algorithm, DevBot.
Soundvolumen. Mach das mal runter.
Proprietary.
Safe.
Okay, well, let's play the Torchlight 3 trailer, and when we're done, I want to talk to one of the Torchlight 3 devs.
World exklusiv. Hm. Flobo, ich habe aus meiner Quelle ist der Alert gar nicht mehr drin, deswegen verstehe ich es nicht. Immer noch. Ich check's nicht. Ich check's nicht. Biergott, ja, ich mache auf jeden Fall ein Video. Da kommt auf jeden Fall ein Video. Ich werde zumindest... Also ich denke nicht, dass man groß was zusammenschneiden muss, also zusammenfassen muss.
Torchlight 3, your legend awaits.
Oh, DevBot, please connect me with one of those developers.
You got it, Sean.
Joining me today to talk about Torchlight 3 is Max Schaefer. Max, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Now, Max, Torchlight 2's story began with the alchemist from the original Torchlight becoming corrupted and evil. How does Torchlight 3's story tie into the first two?
Well, we're in the same world, obviously. We're about a century later now, though, and the Empire is
century? Wow.
Yes, the Empire is in decline, and they've gotten a little lazy, a little comfortable, and a new threat looms on the horizon. So
ich glaube schon, dass sie nur ein kleines Dings zeigen. Ein kleines Trailer-Video. Mehr wird nicht kommen.
Well, we've expanded quite a bit. Now, first, anyone who's played Torchlight 1 and Torchlight 2 will be comfortable with the mechanics and how to play it and all. But we've expanded and let players make their own mark in the world itself. Like you get a
Jetzt hat mich einer gefollowt und ihr habt nichts gehört.
You can decorate, that you can build things in, you can do things that benefit your whole account, and you can put things in there that are useful to other players. And other players will see your fort randomly out in the world.
I want to ask a little bit about
Doch, ich hör's.
Because if you're an action RPG player, you may recognize something like a knight or a mage. But in Torchlight 3, we got the steam-powered robots. We have the rail master that can summon
Habt ihr es gehört?
Talk to me about not just what some of the classes that
Nichts
players
gehört?
expect are,
Ah,
but
perfekt.
how do you even come up with this glorious
Okay, ich sage schon mal, wann es passiert. Jetzt doch. Scheiße. Das muss ein Fehler sein, Freunde. Ich kann da echt nichts für.
But at the same time, we wanted you to be able to look at them and get a sense and get a kind of an intuitive sense of what they do. And
ich kann höchstens mal
here we've got some really fun characters, like you said, the fully
hier was gucken.
steam-powered robot. And a guy that summons trains, but we've also got some other cool classes too, a sharpshooter and a dusk mage. And you know, honestly, they all have new twists, and they're all pretty fun to play.
In terms of the game world itself, how like specifically do the forts get integrated? Like, what does it mean to stumble across someone else's fort as you're going through the world?
Well, between our gameplay levels, we have passages, and when you enter the passage, there will often be a waypoint there, but there will also be someone else's fort. So you will see some random person from the world's fort, and they will in turn see occasionally randomly your own fort. And it's definitely worth exploring their fort, because you can not only use things like the luck tree, but you can use their enchanting.
Aber Alert ist interessanter als die Show. Also ich habe jetzt mal bei Tipsy, bei Tippys Stream habe ich den Alert ganz leise gestellt, habe ihn nochmal neu reingeladen. Müssen wir abwarten, falls nochmal jemand Fallout.
It does all the things you want. It fights alongside you. It sells, goes and takes your items back to town to sell. But we've introduced kind of a collection mechanic, so you can find pets out in the wild by defeating bosses and make a whole stable of pets that you, of course, keep in your fort.
Now, Max, I know that the Torchlight series has an enormous fan base. For those who are looking to get their hands on Torchlight,
Eisenforce hat gefollowt. Jetzt bin ich gespannt.
Well, I'm very, very happy to announce that we are available
Vielen Dank für dein Follow.
right now in early access for $29.99. Go check it out. It's available right this minute.
This is the best kind of answer in the PC gaming show. You can get it now. Once again, Max Schaefer from the Torchlight 3 team, thank you so much for joining us. Once again, go to Steam right now to get your hands on
bei
the
uns gewittert's nicht.
version of
Noch nicht.
Torchlight 3. We're just getting started here on the PC Gaming Show. Let's take a look at what's coming up next.
You're watching the PC Gaming Show. Coming up later, an exclusive look at the next game from Day.
Okay, jetzt müsstet ihr den sehr leise gehört haben. Das hat funktioniert. Okay, dann mache ich das gerade nochmal komplett.
The first reveal of Sound Mind and more. Back to you, Sean.
Ich mache ihn komplett aus.
Well, hey everyone, I hope you're having a great time. I know I am, and I know you want to tell me how much fun you're having, but don't shout. The walls are very thick in here. I can see you though if you use the PC Gaming Show hashtag on Twitter,
Doch, der war ganz leise.
Facebook, or the PC Gamer forums, or a Ouija board, or a Messenger Falcon, whatever is your desired form of communication. I'm sure you've been seeing many of those comments show up live in the show today. And we want your hottest 280 character take that our merry moderators might just select to be on the show. For our next segment, it's time to head on over to Frankie Ward.
Elite Dangerous, the space simulation MMO from Frontier, has continued to evolve over the past 5 years. Set in a one-to-one recreation of our actual Milky Way galaxy, players forge their own path, build and break alliances, trade, fight, and earn the rank of Elite. Join us as we journey into the next era of Elite Dangerous, set to take a giant leap once more.
Wann geht's los? Naja, das wird noch einen Moment dauern, glaube ich. Mal kurz gucken, was hier passiert. Das Virus, grüß dich. Ja, das stimmt. Sieht auch interessant aus. Habe ich aber, glaube ich, schon mal gesehen, was drüber. Hey, warum ist denn? Ach, haben sie so einen schwarzen Balken? Ach so, okay, ich dachte schon. Simbad, servus, ja, wir hoffen da so ein bisschen drauf. Ich probiere mal was aus. Immer die Alertbox.
Joining me to talk about the next chapter of Elite Dangerous is Piers Jackson from Frontier Developments. Thanks so much for joining us, Piers.
Oh, you're welcome. It's good to be here.
Now, I have a lot of questions about the trailer we just saw, but I'm wondering if you can contextualize a little bit for those who haven't played Elite Dangerous. What is it?
So I think the best way of explaining what Elite Dangerous is to understand how big it is. We have created a title that's the most complete authentic space simulation of any game out there, and it's just vast. It's the whole galaxy. You can explore it. You can take your own path. You can be a pilot, a trader, a bounty hunter. You can do what you want. You can go where you want, and you can do your own thing. And it's that sort of freedom and the ability for people.
Seit Ende des Monats kommt da der Content-Trailer.
Now, in all the streams that I've been following for Elite Dangerous, there's a lot of gameplay that happens in ships. There's a lot of focus on the economy.
Nein, das wissen wir nicht.
In this trailer, though, we saw feet
Nein,
on
das
the
wissen wir wirklich nicht.
ground, which immediately makes me ask, what
So, noch mal zum Test. Ich habe jetzt den Alert optisch reingepackt. Wenn jetzt der nächste Alert kommen sollte, werden wir sehen, ob er lautlos ist oder nicht. Ich glaube, jetzt muss es aber funktionieren.
We've created the last edition, really, in terms of going from space all the way down to the planet's surface. So now you can set foot, you can explore, you can interact with the environment, and we've taken the mission-based gameplay and the idea of forging your own path and creating your own experience that the space game has, and we've transposed that right down onto the planet. For the first time, you'll be able to access a whole pile of new planets, all ones with tenuous atmospheres, and obviously you're going to be able to play this in multiplayer. So
ich poste in der Zeit nochmal meine Playlist unten rein, wenn ihr nebenher ein bisschen was laufen lassen wollt, euch mal die Videos anschauen wollt. Bitte schön.
In what way will this ground walking on the planet component transform the existing aspects of Elite Dangerous?
I think it gives people a new set of experiences to have. We link all
Pains,
the way
nein, hast nichts
from
verpasst.
the ground to the buggies, the SRVs, all the way up to the spaceship, so that it becomes a holistic event. The design actually encapsulates the whole experience.
In terms of some of the other systems that are on the planets or various resources or points
Die Beta, ja, die soll nächsten Monat starten. Frage ist halt nur, keiner weiß wann.
You can visit old planets, and we have refreshed the visuals on them, so you can really set
Ja,
foot
wirklich tolle Spiele.
and be the first to actually make footfall on a new planet.
Now, peers, I have a combo question for you. Elite Dangerous is available right now. Where can players go to play Elite Dangerous, and when can they expect the Odyssey update?
So you can join in with our community now, playing Elite Dangerous. Download it via Steam or go to the Frontiers store or purchase it on console. We have many.
Ich bin auch gespannt, ob die überhaupt so ein Interview mit reinpacken.
I hope you all enjoyed that conversation about Elite Dangerous. It's a treat to see the way the game is continuing to evolve. For our next title, we're going to be...
Sean, I'm sorry to interrupt, but our broadcast is being hijacked by another host.
Not again.
Hi there again, PC gamers. It's me, Greg Miller. Maybe you saw me host the Guerrilla Collective live stream earlier today. No, I didn't watch. Okay, well, that sucks. I'll give the PC Gaming Show back to its usual host in a moment, but I couldn't let
Beim Geil ist ja, dass das Virus schreibt, dass er nicht zocken kann, weil er krank ist. Das Virus schreibt, es ist krank.
Persona 4 Golden is available now on Steam. If you haven't played this, now you have no excuse. Persona 4 Golden is a masterpiece, ladies and gentlemen. The story, the action, the characters, this is something you have to go get right now. It's been awesome to see Atlas Games make their way onto the PC. I'm glad this one is finally here. Anyway, I better hand the show back over to Sean before he gets mad at me. See you later, PC gamers.
Well, that was weird. I thought this live stream was supposed to be secure.
I'm analyzing the security breach now, Sean. I'm not sure what could have happened.
2 Stunden soll die gehen. Theoretisch.
Well, all right then. While we get this sorted out, let's head on over to Frankie.
Our next trailer reveals an all-new psychological horror game coming to PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X early next year. Insound Mind will challenge your expectations as it ushers you through the deepest corners of your psyche. It sounds like every night before I go to sleep, honestly. The game also features a chilling original soundtrack by The Living Tombstone. Courtesy of indie outfit We Create Stuff and publisher MdS Games, let's take a look at In Sound Mind.
They say fear is just a state of mind. A locked door that traps you inside it. But once you find the key to your terror, fear will no longer exist. What a bunch of bullshit.
Hey everyone, I'm Ido, producer at We Create Stuff.
Hey, I'm Gen, creative director.
Hey, Tombstone here.
We're the developers who brought you Nightmare House 2, and now we're back. We've partnered with MdS Games and The Living Tombstone, and we're working on a new indie horror game, In Sound Mind.
Demo is now out on Steam. Let us know what you think.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So hey DevBot, how did you get here today anyways?
Well, Sean, my sleep state was interrupted when I realized I was late to this year's PC gaming show. So naturally, I panicked. I had to improvise about.
Ich glaube nicht mal, dass es am Spiel liegt, dass da jetzt nur 77.000 Zuschauer zuschauen. Sondern das ist irgendwie meiner Meinung nach eine komische Art und Weise, wie man das generell macht mit dieser Show. Und dass man auch in Deutschland keine hat. Irgendwie parallel wenigstens.
But ever since the 1991 documentary Terminator 2, no one in Los Angeles trusts robots. At that point, I was already right outside our secret location.
Cool. Hey, let's take a look at our next trailer.
Airborne Kingdom loading.
Ich sag euch, wir werden ganz am Ende dran sein. Aber was sind das für komische Spiele, die da auf den Markt kommen? Aber davon habe ich schon mal gehört, das soll richtig krass sein. Also von der Idee her. Ist die Hoffnung da?
Might be surprised to know that I enjoy real-time strategy games, and that's why I'm excited for our next trailer. It's Dwarfheim, a cooperative RTS, where up to 3 players can split up the work of building, mining, and fighting, working together to build defenses, machinery, and traps, train armies to fend off deadly trolls and rival clans. The Dwarfheim demo is live right now on Steam. Let's see what the game is all about.
Ever since the fall, dwarven clans live scattered across Agartha. They toil every day in the dark and dirt. They try to protect what little they have from rival clans and the vile creatures that roam these lands. Your clan needs you now, chieftains, to lead your people. Choose your classes, guide your builders and miners to expand your kingdom.
Ja, das wäre schade, wenn das nur so ist. Aber sie hacken ja ganz gut durch, so, ne? Den Dude im roten Jacket kann man nicht für voll nehmen. Gibt es auch noch Games mit... Das sind, also für mich sehen die ganzen Games wie so Mobile Games aus aktuell. German Hannah Blaze, vielen Dank für deinen Follow. Ich habe schon gesehen. Bin mal gespannt, ob der Alert jetzt kommt. Mindestens müsste man ihn sehen. Oder doch nicht? The Old Man, vielen Dank für deinen Follow. Oh, warte mal. Ne, wir sind aber eigentlich an. Das ist ja das, worauf ich abfahre. So richtig oldschool. Aber ich finde, die übertreiben es langsam mit diesen Oldschool-Geballern. Dieser Optik, ne? Guck mal, jetzt kommt der Alert gar nicht mehr. Das macht Spaß, Freunde. Doch, da ist er doch. Cool. Da sind sie doch. Jetzt funktioniert es doch gut. Ja. Wir laufen wirklich auf jeder Kiste. Und das Geile ist, wie hieß das damals noch? Das erste, was so ein bisschen angefangen hat, mir fällt der Name gerade nicht ein. Nicht Iron Maiden, sondern Iron Steel, glaube ich, hieß das, oder? Und da zahlt so ein 30er und das Spiel hat einfach, keine Ahnung, 28 MB oder so.
That's quite a lineup from New Blood, and with us now is the New Blood CEO, Dave Oshry, to talk about it. Dave, what the hell was that all about?
Yeah, so we got a lot going on, right? I mean, some guys come out here, they show like some cinematic trailer and then tell you it's coming out in a year. We got 6 games and you can play all of them
right now.
We couldn't afford to do a cinematic trailer
right now,
right? So yeah, Dusk now with mods, check them out at duskmods.com. There's all kinds of crazy.
Aber warum gehen die immer mehr in diese Richtung, ja? Ich finde es ja mal geil, wenn es einer macht. Aber warum müssen es dann alle nachziehen wieder?
Unfortunate Spaceman is now completely free to play. It, why not? Check that one out. 16-player co-op. It's crazy. It's like the Thing in space. Faith, of course. If you don't know about Faith.
Now you know.
Ultra Kill, our new retro shooter with style. If you like games like Devil May Cry and Quake, that's what that's about.
Devil May Cry? Hat er schon mal Devil May Cry gespielt?
System Shock, Resident Evil, then I think Gloomwood is definitely the game for you.
Where can we go to learn more?
So you can check out Dusk at notfortnite.com, a Medieval at ican'tbelieveit'snothexen.com, Maximum Action at shootyboom.com,
Verkaufszahlen sprechen für sich, ja.
That's deaderspace.com, Faith at garylovesyou.com, Ultra Kill at devilmayquake.com, and then of course Gloomwood at thiefwithguns.com. Yeah, that's all we got. 6 games, you can play them all right now. We love you.
And we hate money.
Thanks, Dave. Let's see what Frankie has for us next.
Thank you, Sean. Now tell me, PC gamers, have you ever wanted to rewrite history? Not your browser history, that's easy and absolutely vital, but how about something grander, like discovering America, mastering flight, or inventing the computer a couple of hundred years earlier? Humankind is an upcoming...
Kannst du mal ein Video machen mit Sachen, die bei New World schlecht sind? Irgendwie gibt es da viel Hate um New World. Ja, das Problem ist halt, dass man... Kommt ein bisschen mehr komisch vor, wenn ich die unterbreche da.
Let's see how they're inviting PC gamers to help build this worldly game.
Genau das ist das Problem, die NDA. Vielen Dank für deinen Follow, mein Freund. Vielen Dank. Freut mich. 181, krass. Wie ihr mich pusht, ist ja heftig.
Well, you heard the trailer.
Freut mich richtig.
You need to go to opendev.gamestogether.com so you can be one of the very first humans to get your hands on humankind. Amplitude Studios.
Ja, man darf es leider nicht zeigen. Man darf nicht drüber reden, man darf nichts schreiben.
And now for something a little different.
Schwierig.
Why don't you join me in my chambers?
Ihr glaubt gar nicht, wie schwierig es ist für die einzelnen Themen, gerade wenn sie nicht mal Videomaterial posten, die Entwickler, sondern nur so einen Blogbeitrag. Wie schwierig das ist, da gescheit Material zusammenzubekommen, dass es einigermaßen ein bisschen das widerspiegelt, was der Inhalt halt ist, ja. Und hier und da gibt es schon genug Videos, aber viele nehmen einfach die Szenen, die es gibt aus dem Trailer und lassen es einfach laufen, erzählen halt, was es an Neuigkeiten gibt, aber ich versuche halt, wenn ich schon über irgendeinen Endboss rede, dass ich den auch versuche, irgendwie dann da reinzubringen, ja. Die Musik muss aus sein, die kann nicht leise sein, die muss aus sein. Oder welche Musik meinst du? Meat Boy, ja. Niklas, ja, ist echt komisch, gell? Ist irgendwie... Sieht voll komisch aus teilweise. Irgendwie teilweise fühle ich mich auch so ein bisschen... Das wird ganz am Ende sein, Gobi, 100 Pro. Icarus. Aber auch voll viele Spiele, von denen ich noch nie was gehört habe.
Joining me to talk about Icarus is Dean Hall. Dean, thanks so much for joining us.
Awesome, it's great to be here.
So, Dean, you're making another survival-focused game. What makes Icarus different from other survival titles?
Ja, wird so sein, denke ich auch. Ich kann ja mal ein bisschen ein bisschen leiser machen, dass ich ein bisschen lauter bin. Aber wenn ihr sagt, das passt so von meiner Lautstärke her, dann lasse ich das so. Könnt ihr mal kurz einen Daumen geben oder macht einen Plus, wenn der Sound mit meiner Stimme zu dem Hintergrundmusik passt, gebt mir einen Plus. Wenn es nicht gut ist, macht ein Minus. Wenn ich das ein bisschen abschätzen kann. Das ist gut, okay. Okay, perfekt. Da kommen schon die Plusse.
If you think about the orbital station as your apartment in GTA, you can
Gut,
invite
danke.
friends
Perfekt.
in and prepare for what we call a drop. And then you select a prospect. And the big challenge of the game, and the way to fail it, I guess, is to run out of time on the drop.
Let's say I'm on a 30-minute mission. I have a particular resource I've set out to snatch up. How does the gameplay of that 30-minute period differ from other survival games?
I suppose there were three key things that I felt needed to be addressed before I made another survival game.
Wie sieht das aus, ey? Wie haut denn der auf so einen Baum?
experience over months and years into sessions, that allowed us to address scale. So you still can do all the things that you do in a normal survival game, building bridges, roads, all those kinds of things. But you're doing it with a medium-term focus. The second was pacing and clear direction, which
Kam das Sound von voller? Ja, verstehe. Ich habe das jetzt ausgemacht. Ich habe jetzt aktuell einen Sound mehr gehört. Ich hoffe, der ist jetzt auch weg.
Really focusing in on those core survival mechanics, which I really feel is the whole reason that survival as a genre connects so emotionally with players.
I guess I was a little surprised to hear that there are 20-minute drops as well as multi-day drops. What are the sort of time ranges we're looking at? Are there different like categories and tiers of drop length?
Yeah, so it really depends on your level as you progress through the game. So early on, we're really just introducing you to more safe environments. So say a daytime drop that only lasts 20 minutes. You're only going to be facing the game during the day. As you progress on, you can take on and get access to prospects that have much longer drop windows, but that means you're getting a cycle of day-night. And night, particularly for most of our biomes, is definitely the most dangerous.
I want to ask a little bit about what failure means in Icarus. I mean, in the trailer there was someone that fell down and you just ominously talked about the dangers of being left behind on
Das ist
the
eine gute
planet.
Frage. Kann man sich das Game holen, vorbestellen, an der Beta mitmachen und rechtzeitig abbestellen?
If you think about DayZ, when you get shot, it's a very binary event.
Gute Frage, gell?
And there's nothing you can do.
Venom, nochmal vielen Dank für deinen Follow, den habe ich noch nicht gesehen, der Alert kam nicht. Oder habe ich ihn übersehen, ich weiß es nicht.
But I think if we look about
charm, I like your use of the word charm there, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, like there definitely is, but I think with Icarus, we've chosen one failure state. If you run out of time on your drop, that character and all its equipment is gone.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make that terrifying, and that's why our tagline is, there are worse fates than death. So it's getting left behind. If you miss your rendezvous window with the orbital station, then that's it. Everything that you've deployed on there, your character...
Der soll nicht so lange schnacken, wir wollen unser Video sehen.
...is just gone. And that's our one failure state. If you run out of oxygen, someone can come and revive you. If you get attacked by this particular animal and damaged, someone can heal you. But if you run out of time, it's over.
I'm curious, I mean, there's so many elements. There's so much ambition. I know there's a lot of PC gamers that maybe feel like you abandoned DayZ, other projects.
Ganz auch bei Steam. Achso, ja, nee, ist Quatsch, was ich gerade sagen wollte.
Well, I think a big thing for me is you know, Bohemia was an existing company and I definitely felt like I was pulling them in a direction that was hard for them to go, and they probably felt like they were pulling me in a direction that I didn't want to go. And it's really been a bit of a struggle for me to develop and not only the studio,
Ich fühle mich so ein bisschen wie bei hier, wie heißt das nochmal? Eurovision Song Contest.
Many of those things through failure. The solution there was to make sure it wasn't just a Dean Hall game, but it was a game built by incredibly skilled people. And we managed to assemble, I think, definitely one of the best teams I've ever worked with, an exceptional concept team through to a technical and production team as well.
Well, I know there's a ton of people that are interested in my very next question, my favorite question. When can people get the opportunity to play Icarus?
That is a good question. So we're looking at sometime next year. Our development is very advanced at this point. Our biggest question really is content. So, you know, we're making the game free to play because we wanted to maximize the number of people that play it. And we're acutely aware a number of our former staff are ex-Grinding Gear Games.
Medieval, nee, stimmt, hier kommt bis jetzt auch noch Schrott.
Very talented in the free-to-play area. So
Wie meinst du das mit
very
stimmt?
cognizant
Hier
of
kommt
how
auch noch
much
Schrott.
content we need to provide gamers. So at the moment, we're really sort of heading into that.
Well, Dean, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Awesome.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Once again, that was Dean Hall from Rocket Works for the upcoming survival game.
Flobo, vielleicht.
For our next game, let's head to Frankie.
When you're an evil supervillain, it's important to have your own sense of style. What? Evil Cat Psychics are so 2019. Evil Genius 2 asks players the question, how would you design a supervillain?
Song Contest.
Would you build a pool filled with
Dion,
Dion,
vielen Dank für deinen Follow. Freut mich. Dione, Dion.
Gameplay footage of Evil Genius 2.
Freut mich sehr.
World Domination.
Schon wieder so ein komisches Game. Danny schreibt, oh, das habe ich fast überlesen. Richtig schwer dran zu bleiben. Wenn Devs nur über das Spiel reden, ohne irgendwelches Gameplay zu zeigen. Das Spiel kann ja trotzdem sonst wie werden. Ja, ja, kann. Was sind das für Spiele, ey? Das ist doch Mobile Gaming, ohne Scheiß. Das wird sein. Das ist die Ankündigung. Das Spiel kommt gar nicht für den PC raus, sondern nur für Handys. Stell dir vor. Was ist da der Sinn? Ja, Meat Boy, das stimmt. Rayleigh, ja, so wird's sein. Aber es sind keine 3 Stunden. So lange wird es nicht gehen. Die haben gesagt, glaube maximal 2. Pizza Nummer 2 ist weg. Geschlechtshit. Guten, gönn dir.
Counterplay Games is going to give us a guided tour of the battle for Aperion, and keen observers will notice that this is running in Unreal Engine 5. That's why those shiny sets of armor look oh so gorgeous.
Jetzt muss was Geiles kommen. Unreal Engine 5?
Or get more information on Godfall before it releases this holiday season. But for now, let's take a look.
Aha. Godfall.
Hello, my name is Keith Lee, and I am the game director for Godfall. On behalf of Counterplay Games, we are very excited to share gameplay with you today, and to offer you a glimpse into the mystical world of Godfall. Please enjoy. Godfall is still in development, so some things will change and improve.
Oh, Flobo, willst direkt in die Barrikaden gehen?
Godfall is set in a brand new high fantasy universe filled with
Jo, mit bisschen Grafik, aber das ist auch, guck doch mal.
And forbidden realms. The world is split up into the elemental realms of earth, water, air and fire.
Oh, habt ihr diese Ankündigung zu diesem Action-RPG gesehen mit diesem Werwolf? Das heißt auch Werwolfs Apokalypse, glaube ich, oder so.
As you adventure through the realms, you'll get to tear through enemies to challenge a mad god who awaits you at the top. Throughout your journey,
sah auch richtig fett aus, bin ich mal gespannt. Weil das ist doch wieder, guck doch mal.
Lost in time,
Wahnsinn.
each with their own characteristics and long history. Now let's talk about gameplay in Godfall. First, our team wanted to do something different. We wanted to combine action RPG loot progression with third-person melee combat to create what we think is a whole new genre, the looter slasher. Our game is therefore one part gear-driven
Ja, Age of Creation habe ich auch gesehen.
player skill-driven. In other words, not only do we want you to find exquisite weapons with powerful loot traits, but we also want you to have that feeling of accomplishment for mastering the wide set of combat mechanics available to you in Godfall.
Das wird auf der PS5, ja. Wie findest du die PS5? Optisch? Ich bin zwar absolut kein Konsolenzocker, aber
which we'll have to leave for another day.
das natürlich mitbekommen. Wie gefällt ihr euch?
Check out the Godfall channels on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Thank you so much for taking a look at Godfall.
Sau nice.
And we'll be showing you more soon.
Now next up, when PC gamers think of iconic first-person
Ich muss mal kurz
shooters
bis
that
anders
games
hinsetzen.
like Doom, Quake, and Duke Nukem. Our next trailer shows a project that celebrates the proud heritage of sci-fi FPSs while taking advantage of some very modern visual effects, like glorious enemy dismemberment. From Bounding Box Software and Marvel Publishing, this is Proteus.
Guck schon wieder, das meine ich. Zwar geil und so, aber warum macht das jetzt jeder? So, ich habe das jetzt mal so eingestellt, dass ich nachher einfach noch volle Pulle stelle und dann habt ihr... Dann habt ihr nachher ein bisschen besseren Sound. Retro, ja, das meine ich. Es ist ständig. Wobei das bestimmt geil wird. Wobei mich stört das hier mit dem Helm schon. Das ist so ein bisschen Doom-Abklatsch. Proteus, ja, das habe ich mal gesehen. Die Mucke taugt auf jeden Fall. Aber das kannst du auch bei mir kriegen, die Mucke. Medieval, ich weiß auch nicht. Haben die sich ja die Rechte erkauft, dass sie das zeigen dürfen, damit sie ihre Show da ein bisschen pushen, weil da nur Scheißspiele drin sind? Also, nicht Scheißspiele, aber... Aber das ist, was ich meine, die sind einfach... Ja, ja. Der Stream ist aus dem Jahr. Oder soll ich nochmal gucken? Ja, zumindest war in der Vorschau was zu New World schon gesehen.
Fate Tactics is set to scratch that isometric combat itch that I know a lot of us have been feeling ever since we played Final Fantasy Tactics back in the 90s. Alright, but we're not done with humble games yet. Their lineup, as it turns out, isn't all that humble. We're going to take a look at 2 more games from them. Project Wingman, a jet fighter game featuring RPG elements and VR support. And rounding things out is Carto from Sunhead Games, a gorgeous top-down puzzler.
Nee, AAA ist auf keinen Fall dabei. Guck dir das doch mal an! Was sind das für Spiele? Hm. Wingman. Ab sofort beim Mediamarkt in der Pyramide.
Have you ever wondered what Gordon Freeman's voicemail message sounds like?
Sean, that is an intriguing inquiry. However, something is wrong. I'm receiving an external transmission.
Why does this keep happening, DevBot? What's with the security? Have you upgraded to Service Pack 2 yet?
The transmission is coming from a powerful space satellite.
Greetings, PC Gaming Show. It is I, your supreme leader, Kane.
Kane, das ist nice. Alarmstufe Rot, Freunde.
This is a strategically significant I'm just kidding, it's me, Joe Coogan. And I can take over this broadcast because I do what I want. Look, you know Command & Conquer has been a major part of your life. It's certainly been a big part of mine. The Command & Conquer Remastered Collection recently launched for PC, and it is an awesome way to relive this classic game with a bunch of new bells and whistles. I mean, who doesn't like 4K graphics, quick matches in multiplayer, or modding, am I right? I personally want to send a big shout out to all you PC gamers who have kept the legacy of Kane alive over these last 25 years. I mean, I live in death, I guess. Thanks for letting me interrupt, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the show. For the glory of Nod!
Tell me, PC gamers, do you have any rare action figures? Perhaps you're one of the lucky owners of an out-of-print collectible, something you'd never...
Das ist einfach nur mal ein Werbeding reingehauen. Nichts angekündigt, gar nichts.
On its surface, a game about collecting, customizing, and trading, but
Endlich mal ein Spiel.
creativity, one where you can make your own levels and gather with your friends to hang out, play mini games, and create together. This is Blanco's Block Party.
Legend tells of a place where everyone comes together to play and dance and race and shoot and jump and fly with jetpacks or maybe bat wings and there's lots
Auf jeden Fall. Der Matula, hey, servus. Safe als letzten World, ja Mann. Aber die Spiele sind schon der Knaller, was hier vorgestellt wird. Freunde, nutzt die Zeit, geht auf YouTube bei mir auf den Kanal, da gibt es jede Menge Content zu New World, auch in Zukunft. Werdet Abonnent, dann macht wenigstens was Sinnvolles in der Zeit. Hier nochmal der Link für alle. Schaut gern vorbei. Könnt ihr ein bisschen Zeit umschlagen. Wie gesagt, sobald wir streamen dürfen, sobald wir was zeigen dürfen, haue ich das raus. Da gibt es Guides, da gibt es Tipps, Videos und was ist nicht alles. Also wenn ihr Bock habt, würde mich freuen über euren Support.
Jamie, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hey man, thanks for having me.
I would love if you could just address what
Was ist mit seinen Haaren los?
Blancos.
Blancos it's a game about vinyl toys kind of coming to life and where they go when a human leaves the room. But it's also more than just a game. It's a place for content creators and
90er,
collectors to come together and hang out and build the worlds and games that they really want to play in. And you can have as many as your friends come and hang out with you as you want. But you could also drop the toys in. So the first toy you can play with is one called it's a shooting mechanic. We got like a unicorn rocket launcher that fires ice creams. We got like a cactus grenade launcher that fires these little cactus balls. So it's all about kind of like arcade fun shooter stuff. And you can set that up as a team shooter. You could have
Schon mal schnell was zu trinken.
you can even just have it free for all. Some other stuff we're going to be dropping is race toys. So you could just do point to point. You could build this super sweet like platformer and just go A to B. You could do laps. And then another one is because Blancos, they all survive on good vibes. That's kind of what powers them. So another one you can do is actually just a vibe collection. And what's kind of super cool is all of those toys work with each other. So you could build a race and then you could drop some guns in it and it can be a race, but you can pick up guns on the way and try and knock each other out.
So you have these huge flexible tools, this community focus. We've also seen in games like Fortnite, these in-game events. Are these kinds of things that you think will show up in Blancos as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we felt that from the beginning of development, that Blancos wasn't just a place for players to go and build and create.
Ich verpasse kein New World. Ich habe die Headset aufgehabt. Das Headset aufgehabt.
Whether it's something no one's seen yet, but absolutely that we're definitely thinking about that kind of stuff.
Well, talk to me about the number of different designs. Like, where are these
Meine ernste Frage. Was muss man nehmen oder rauchen, um so Spiele wie bis jetzt gezeigt zu programmieren und auf die fette Kohle zu hoffen?
We're really stoked we've been able to work with some of my favorites that I've been buying the vinyl toys of over the years. So John Paul Kaiser.
Wird New World auf Konsolen kommen? Generelle Frage. Ich glaube... Der Headset bitte. Und dem Mikro, der Headset auf das Stuhl. Ich kann mal eine Liste anmachen, so lange kann die nicht sein. Ein bisschen zu viel Corona-Bier.
I know people are going to want more information. They're going to want to know when they can play Blancos, when they can see more. Where do they go for that?
Ich weiß nicht, ob das auf Konsole kommen wird. Vielleicht irgendwann mal so ein Port oder so, aber ich glaube exklusiv erstmal nur für den PC. Ja. Denke ich auch.
Jamie from Mythical, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Once again, the name of the game is Blanco's Block Party. Let's take a look
Ich schon höre, Block Party.
this year's PC gaming show.
You're watching the PC Gaming Show, presented by PC Gamer.
Werbung?
Stay tuned for more trailers, announcements, and footage. Coming up later, we celebrate the 20th anniversary of A Total War. What's next in Escape from Tarkov? The reveal of horror strategy.
Escape von Tarkov? Tarkov?
And more.
Tarkov.
The PC is the birthplace of space flight action games, and our next project, Everspace 2, expands on that tradition with its gorgeous handcrafted universe. The focus here is on exploration and dogfighting, with alien species standing in the way of outfitting your ship with unique modules, weapons, and devices. And, as we're about to see in this next trailer, combat won't just take place in the cold vacuum of space, but also the atmospheres of planets themselves. Here's Everspace 2.
Alpha Gameplay Footage. Guck mal, das startet 15. Juni, die Alpha. Dann könnt ihr doch bei New World auch sagen, dass halt übermorgen die Beta beginnt, oder?
Gamers, I'm sure you'll agree. If
Was ist das? Was ist da?
your door and you don't remember ordering a horse,
Was passiert da? Ja, Mann.
to keep the door shut. One of the coolest things about A Total War Saga Troy, the next game from Creative Assembly, is that it will enable players to experience multiple different versions of how the iconic battle went down, including several explanations for what that mythical horse actually was. I'll get the door while you watch the latest trailer.
Direkt vorgestellt.
Oh, silver-tanned Odysseus, there is only one response to Queen Helen's abduction, and that is...
Das müssen wir mal den Typ in dem roten Jackett fragen, ey. Das ist eine komische Fratze.
Greatest conflict ever told, the Trojan War. As Odysseus besieged the legendary city of Troy in 3 ingenious and equally devastating ways, all based around prominent theories from throughout the ages as to what the iconic Trojan horse really resembled.
The walls of this city may appear to be mighty, but no defenses are impregnable.
Using gargantuan siege towers, take the fight to the walls. Slaughter the Trojans atop and force them back into their pitiful city.
Dem Homeoffice sei Dank.
Position your troops to retain your advantage once the attack begins.
Sneak troops into the city.
Guck mal, wie cool er das Bier zensiert.
Fit for the gods. Under the cloak of darkness, use guerrilla tactics to sabotage the unbreachable city gates, leaving the Trojan warriors defenseless, allowing the Achaean soldiers to begin razing the city to the ground.
Ich schick dir schon mal ein Pre-Invite auf Ehrenbruderbasis. Auf jeden. Raus. Läuft und wehe, wenn nicht. Nein, das ist kein Bex. Das ist kein Bex. Das ist kein Bex Matula. Total War Saga.
That was a Total War Saga Troy, which we'll get to play in 2021. And hey, speaking of sneaking in big surprises, a master of segue. This year, we've teamed up with Intel to build a legendary custom computer inspired by art, weaponry, and the artifacts found in the game. DevBot, I understand you know your way around a computer, right?
Affirmative. Sean, I have a soft spot for Bronze Age computers.
Well, great. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit more?
Can do, Sean. Behold, PC gamers. This build is centered around Intel's CPU, the 10th gen Intel Core i9-10900K processor. This 10-core flagship CPU is built for maximum gaming performance and overclocking, especially useful in epic strategy games like a Total War Saga Troy. The build also features a top-of-the-line GeForce RTX 2080 Ti. Also on the ASUS motherboard are a spacious 4 terabytes of fast storage and 128 gigabytes.
Also diese Show ist schon irgendwie merkwürdig, oder? Waldmeisterbier.
The copper tubing is not only effective at heat conduction, but according to my readings, aesthetically pleasing.
Steven Ward, der Bot nervt.
PCs are more than specs, they're a passion. When we build a PC, we form a relationship with that piece of hardware. We wanted to show you every step of that process. For this build, we enlisted
Komm, dann mach ich den Bot. Ich hab halt Zeit, hier läuft ja nichts.
With over a decade and a half of experience. PC Gamer and Intel have created a 4-part series from Brian as he created this epic artifact. DevBot, cue it up!
Hey, my name is Brian Carter, and I've been building custom PC mods for over 16 years. I'm working with Intel and a Total War Saga Troy on a very special
Ich ändere mal ein bisschen die Zeiten ab, okay? Extra für dich. Okay. Sollte es nicht mehr so sein. In der Show der Bot. Ich habe jetzt alle Zeiten geändert von meinem Bot. Geiler Typ, ey. Daumen hoch dafür. Intel, bla, bla, hin und her.
Oh, it looks so good. And I have some good news. Episode 1 is available now, and I have even better news. You can win this PC from DevBot's loving clutches. Head on over to pcgamer.com/IntelPC to learn more and enter for a chance to win. And with that, it's time to return to more PC Gaming Show action with the fantastic
Diese Kniesocken.
Last year, Remnant from the Ashes challenged gamers to take on
Das war nice.
in a post-apocalyptic world. Today, we're excited to announce the biggest update yet for the game. Upcoming DLC that will conclude this thrilling saga.
Das können wir uns mal anschauen.
The fate of humankind is at stake. It's time to bring an end to the root once and for all. This is the world reveal of Remnant from the Ashes, Subject 2923, available August 20th on PC, Xbox One and PS4.
Kiox, danke für dein Abo. Jetzt bin ich gespannt.
They say hope is what makes us human. Hope also let us think we'd won. But the root have another gate somewhere. Another hole we have to plug in our sinking civilization. Maybe the root's not the only thing we need to worry about.
Remnant ist richtig gut. Also wer das noch nicht gespielt hat, also das ist ja jetzt ein DLC gewesen. Gönnt euch. Ist sau schwer, aber macht richtig Bock. Dann zeigen sie nur mal Peppe. Was haben wir jetzt? Es wird am Ende kommen, ich bin mir sicher. Die haben kein anderes Highlight hier drin, wenn ich mir die Spiele angucke.
Capcom has been updating the original Resident Evil
Classic remasters. Classic.
2K is now updating Mafia. The original Mafia trilogy is getting a full definitive edition remaster with the
Ja, das ist doch auch schon alter Schuh. Wie lange gibt es die Definitive Edition schon? So, jetzt auch schon Wochen. Die Cover das auch lit.
So let's take a look at Lost Heaven 2 decades later.
Tommy, Detective Norman. How long you been in town? 3 years. They handed you the Morello case. Right out of the gate. That's what the paper says, ain't it? And what's it to you? Case must be getting pretty cold by now. Or you got something might warm it up? Yeah, I might have something.
Dafür findest du lit. Also ich habe den ersten und den zweiten Teil vor allem richtig gefeiert. Leider war der dritte Teil absolute Kotze, ey.
Thomas Angelo, sir.
Pre-order now. Pre-order now. Guckt mal bitte auf Steam, Freunde. Da könnt ihr das Ding schon seit Wochen kaufen.
Man, DevBot, after a beautiful trailer like that, I gotta know, do you have any contacts in the Mafia?
Sean, I have left that life behind me. I'm programmed not to form relationships with organized crime. However, I can call one of the developers of Mafia Definitive Edition.
Well, fantastic. Let's ring him up, DevBot. Joining me to talk about Mafia is the president and CCO of Hangar 13. It is Hayden Blackman. Hayden, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So for people who haven't played the original Mafia, which is a 2002 release, talk to us about this game.
Mafia, the Definitive Edition, is a complete ground-up remake of Mafia from 2002, which is a seminal game that really launched the Mafia franchise. And in Mafia, you take on the role of Tommy Angelo, who is a cab driver that falls in with the mob.
Ah, das stimmt, Oritas, da hast du recht.
Actually during the height of Prohibition,
Da hast du recht.
Heaven, which is loosely based on Chicago. And as a member of the Salieri crime family, he really gets embroiled in a war with the
Matula, wie meinst du das? Sie hauen New World raus. Es wird Gameplay, denke ich mal, geben. Und ich hoffe so ein bisschen drauf, dass nachher dann am Abspann irgendwo Beta-Start 2. Juli steht oder so. Wann ist denn Juli? Guck mal hier. Dann gehen Spiele und Weise so an den Start, ne? So ein Donnerstag, 2. Juli wäre ein Donnerstag, vielleicht aber auch 3. Juli, Freitag. Das wäre doch mega. Ich meine, wenn man sich jetzt überlegt, wie viel Zeug hat man schon gesehen jetzt vom Spiel. So viel mehr gibt's da nicht. Außer natürlich mehr Waffen oder so, aber so mehr Events und so ein Kram. Eigentlich kennt man schon sehr viel und man kann eigentlich schon loslegen in der Beta. Man darf auch nicht vergessen, dass es die Beta ist. Man darf ja jetzt nicht erhoffen, dass es, keine Ahnung, gehst in das Spiel rein und es geht auf einmal los, hier, Shitstorm, weil läuft schlecht und so, man darf es nicht vergessen. Ich hab's noch schnell gekauft eben.
So we do that a number of different ways. You know, one, we looked at how populated can we make it, and we took some of the kind of world interactions.
Es auch andere Elemente außer Feuer geben wird.
Crowds and non-player characters and other kind of city life from Mafia 3 and put them into you know, Mafia the Definitive Edition. But we also looked at, are there ways for us to kind of redesign the city so it's more fun to drive around? You know, do we need to widen the streets? Do we need to make sure that there's not as many, you know, 90-degree turns so that you can kind of coast around corners and as we capture the feel of
the old man, geiler Typ.
We want to do to make sure that the roads have, you know, grip or they're slick in the rain. And so that I think brought a lot.
Freunde, wo sind denn die Zuschauer auf YouTube? Ihr schreibt ja gar nichts. Ist ja auch schon die Schnauze voll, oder? Es geht. Aber wenn euch das Stream gefällt, wenn ihr, jetzt mal abgesehen von dem Content, der da läuft, der ist jetzt wirklich nicht so prickelnd, aber gebt dem Stream gerne einen Daumen nach oben auf YouTube, würde mich freuen, wenn ihr Bock habt. Werdet Abonnent, wie gesagt, verpasst ihr auch keine Videos mehr, es wird viel Content-Videos geben. Wird geil, ich freue mich schon richtig drauf. Ja, Jackhalf, die wird im Juli kommen, allerdings weiß man weder den Tag. Baines, alles gut. Ja, soll wie gesagt im Juli kommen, aber keiner weiß den Tag. Aber das Problem ist halt einfach, dass man den Tag nicht weiß. Und wir erhoffen uns so ein bisschen, neben dem Gameplay, was wir sicherlich gezeigt bekommen, wobei ich mir nicht vorstellen kann, was es mega Neues geben soll. Ich denke, dass es mehr zwar Gameplay-Trailer geben wird und dann so ein fettes Ding, keine Ahnung, ab nächster Woche könnt ihr in die Beta starten oder so.
After seeing the trailer, I personally am hyped, Hayden. Thank you so much for joining us at this year's PC gaming show. Once again, mafiagame.com. For our next title, it's time to head on.
Ganiso, war jetzt irgendwas dran oder lahmen die sinnlosen Kram? Denkst du, heute wird der Tag angekündigt? Ja, Peppe, ich glaube schon. Ich glaube schon. Ich wüsste nicht, für was das jetzt sonst gut sein soll.
It's being jointly developed by Cyanide and Leica Studio and sees you building a team from storybook psychos like Bloody Mary and Baron Samedi. Makes all the more sense when you realize you're being employed by the devil himself.
Ich finde es auch möglich, dass sie vorziehen.
The game is out this October and we've got a brand new gameplay trailer.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this exclusive gameplay reveal of our new title, Rogue Lords. Development is moving forward, and we are very excited to share some in-game elements and combat mechanics for the very first time.
Gott, wie schlecht, ey.
Ich
kann mir auch vorstellen, dass sie es vorziehen, eben aus dem Grund, weil sie es sehr weit nach hinten geschoben haben. Und wie gesagt, ich kann mir nicht vorstellen, dass noch irgendwas an Content drin fehlt.
After a terrible defeat years ago, you're finally coming back with your most faithful disciples to wreak havoc and terror in a world unbalanced after your long absence.
Medieval, ich kann nichts dafür. Ich kann nichts dafür.
When one of your disciples becomes vulnerable, your own health bar is exposed, which is persistent during the entire run. If your health is reduced to 0, your run is finished.
Lechi, so Scherze darfst du hier nicht machen. Ja, das wäre natürlich ein Brett, stell dir vor, die sagen, so ab sofort kannst du die Beta runterladen. Das glaube ich aber nicht. Das glaube ich ehrlich gesagt nicht. Das wäre zu hart. Dafür wären zu viele Leute über so eine kleine Show hier.
Our next game, Unexplored 2, puts an interesting twist on these ideas. What if your character's demise changed the game world itself, altering it for all of your future playthroughs? From developer Ludomotion and publisher Big Sugar.
Ich war so ein bisschen irritiert gerade, also hat jetzt so einen Twist gemacht, das Spiel. Das hat ja New World auch gemacht am Anfang. War ja eigentlich ein PvP-Spiel. Was zeigen die für einen Müll? Ja. Ich habe mir echt gedacht, das kommt eventuell. Weil, sagt, New World hat auch einen Twist am Anfang. Hey, Anno, servus. Freust dich auf den Clan.
The latest update for Dauntless is the most ambitious chapter yet for this online free-to-play RPG. In Call of the Void, players unravel a mystery surrounding an ancient civilization, culminating in a showdown with a new otherworldly behemoth. And as a nice little bonus, if you go to playdauntless.com right now and use the code PCGamingShow2020, you can get some free in-game rewards. Nice. Let's take a closer look at this update that's available now in Dauntless. This is Call of the Void.
This is Call of the Void. Die Spiele sehen alle so gleich aus. Nero, sagst nein, du hast nichts verpasst. Gar nichts. Alles die gleiche Engine, ja. Naja, sie müssen alle auf den gleichen Mobile Phones laufen. Bin sofort wieder da, Freunde.
There's still more games to come on the PC Gaming Show. Here's what's around the corner. Take a closer look at Blightbound, the new action RPG from Devolver. A special collection of exciting independent games coming to PC. Back to you, Frankie.
There aren't many games about being in nature, which is why Among Trees caught my eye. In this first-person survival sandbox, you get to explore a colourful, breathing world that's full to the brim with life. Just don't go wandering around like Snow White. Wild, deadly beasts share this painted world with you, and you'll want to move carefully to avoid their bitey bits. Produced by a 3-person team out of Sweden, this project demonstrates the creative power of independent creators on PC.
Hab ich verpasst. Dicke, ich finde es traurig, dass viele Leute, Entwickler, Designer und so weiter viel Rotz ihrer Herzblut geben und dann werden... Ja, stimmt. Ich hab's nicht verpasst, ich hab doch der Headset auf. Weil er am Stuhl angebracht ist? Meinst du mein Greenscreen? Ja, der ist hinten bei mir am Stuhl dran. Funktioniert. Mein Greenscreen ist am Stuhl, guck mal. Ist das? Ja, normal. Ich habe halt nicht so ein mega Zockerzimmer und so. Ich muss mir da was einfallen lassen. Aber funktioniert doch. Aber ich brauche einen neuen Stuhl, unbedingt. Ich sitze schon auf den Federn hier, ey.
Let's take a closer look at this unique fantasy concept.
Ja, ich sitze im Flur sozusagen und da kann ich nicht weiter hinter mir was machen, weil wenn hinter mir einer vorbeiläuft, würde man das jedes Mal sehen. Deswegen hängt es direkt hinter meinem Stuhl. So kann hinter mir auch immer mal jemand vorbeilaufen, ohne dass es irgendjemanden im Stream sieht oder so, weißt du? Aber hast recht, ja, so ein normaler Rollo, der macht's auch. Braucht keine 160 € Auszieh, Fahr, Klappband, sonst was. So sieht's aus, Matula. Noble Chair. Ja, sind schon nice, aber das ist mir einfach zu teuer. Elgato ist richtig teuer, ja. Aber Noble Chair auch ist genau das gleiche. Steckt viel Name drin. Qualität auch, ja, okay, aber... Kosten aber, ja. Gobi, immer mit der Ruhe. Dann ist das hier so ein Sims. Oder was?
We spend a lot of time in video games fixated on finding the best, the most powerful gear. But in our next game, Mortal Shell, things are a little different.
Wie sieht aus mit Shakun Elbrust 3? Auch ein Stuhl? Ich habe mich noch nicht so befasst mit den Stühlen, muss ich dir sagen. Ich muss jetzt mal ein bisschen sammeln, ein bisschen collecten, ein bisschen nebenher legen, ein bisschen sparen. Und dann gucken wir mal.
Each one has a complicated backstory, a playstyle, and an identity might give you mixed feelings about the body you're occupying. Coming later this year exclusively to the Epic Game Store on PC, let's take a look at this gorgeous and brutal action game, Mortal Shell.
Team-Op, ja, maximal 34 Minuten. Was ist das? Kenny, so die Beta ist kostenlos für alle Vorbesteller, ja?
Consecrated fires reveal cinders and shadows. But beneath it all, no monsters, no gods, only oblivion.
Nein, ist nicht New World. Dark Souls oder sowas. Oha. Das sieht richtig gut aus, ja. Mortal Shell. Krass. PlayStation, Epic Store, also auch direkt Konsole.
But wait, there's more. We've gotten the chance to see some of the core gameplay of Mortal Shell, but now it's time to talk about bosses. Bosses are a classic staple of this type of RPG. And in our second piece,
also ganz kurz, die Beta ist für jeden, der es vorbestellt, umsonst. Jeder darf spielen. Andere Methode ist nur über zufällig auswählen. Da kannst du auf die Seite gehen bei New World, kannst dich registrieren und dann wirst du halt ausgelost, so wie jetzt halt auch mit den Alpha-Keys. Aber da die Chance ist halt... Wo an, das weiß ich nicht. Das Movement ist schon ganz nice eigentlich. Oh, Meatball, du hattest Glück beim Facebook-Gewinnspiel. Sehr geil. Das ist ein Boss. Also der ist schon ein bisschen... Der macht so einfach... Ja, ich meine jetzt nicht von der Schnelligkeit, sondern so wie es aussieht, das Movement. Gefällt mir ganz gut, so die Bewegung. Aber das ist doch kein Boss. Der macht ja nix. Außer, dass er so ein bisschen diese... Tutorial-Boss, ja genau. Wasser sieht gut aus, ja, da hast du recht.
Typically on the PC gaming show, we don't spend too much time talking about the Nintendo 64. But the beauty of PC gaming is that one way or another, almost all games find their way to us and are often better off for it. After giving Blade Runner and Turok the remaster treatment, Night Dive Studios is now modernizing Shadow Man, a 1999 cult classic. They're adding in support for 4K.
Das ist gerade positive Werbung für das Spiel, weil ich weiß nicht, es war so mega lahm. Auch so wie das Fieder geschwommen ist, was überhaupt keinen Sound gehört. Ebert, hast du New World bisher gespielt? Ne, bis jetzt gespielt. Ich sag mal so, ich habe es jetzt nicht mega hochgesuchtet. Ich habe keinen Bock, das so komplett alles auszureizen und dass es mich dann direkt langweilt, wenn ich es richtig spielen kann. So. Ich habe mir so die Sachen, die ich wissen wollte, angeschaut. Ja. Ich finde es auch ein bisschen krass. Das kenne ich noch von früher. Aber
on a first-name basis with our next guest, as he has been here at the PC Gaming Show 6 years running. From Tripwire Interactive, the president himself, it's John Gibson. Thanks so much for joining us, John.
Sean, it's my pleasure. I'm so excited to be back with you again to talk about so much cool stuff happening at Tripwire.
Yeah, you guys have been doing a lot of stuff, and I just want to kick off by asking, talk to me about Killing Floor 2.
So Killing Floor 2 just released the Perilous Plunder Summer Update. It's got 4 new weapons: Blunderbuss, Glock 18, Kaboom Stick, Tesla Launcher, new official map called Desolation, Space Pirate themed outfits.
Ja, Shadow Man war nice, ja.
Seasonal event with rewards until July 7th, and right now it's free on Steam for a week, so you can go play it.
I also have to ask about the follow-up to a game that was announced at the PC Gaming Show, Chivalry 2. Talk to me about Chivalry 2.
So we're working with Torn Banner Studios, we're publishing, Torn Banner's developing, and Chivalry 2 is coming along great. It's so fun, and we're excited to announce some big news, cross-play between the PC and the consoles, so you can hack and slash your console friends in Chivalry 2.
And last, a game that has been so popular on Twitch. Talk to me about Men.
Ich darf auch mehr reiner, ich darf mehr commanden, da ist ziemlich viel aufgewärmt ist, aber ja, das stimmt. Aber das ist so Trend momentan. Da hast du Arion TV. Vielen Dank für dein Follow. Das ist ja voll der Trend momentan. Es wird alles remastered, es gibt überall, keine Ahnung. Allein das mit dieser Grafik die ganze Zeit, ne? Das ist, dann nehmen sie die Quake Engine, dann nehmen sie die von Duke Nukem. Woran liegt das? Sind wir satt mit AAA-Games? Pfaffen hier. Vielen Dank für deinen Follow. Freut mich. Kommt immer mega verzögert hier, ich weiß auch nicht warum. Ja, das stimmt, neue IPs sind teuer, aber trotzdem schon ein bisschen arg. Ich meine, wie gesagt, wenn es einer mal macht, dann ist es geil, aber weil ich bin ja auch aus der Zeit, ne? Ich habe ja Doom gespielt, Duke, Nukem, Quake 1, Quake 2, Unreal Tournament, die ganzen Games, die es damals gab, damit habe ich ja angefangen. Aber das ist halt schon ein bisschen arg langweilig, wenn das andauernd macht.
But for a sense of what else there is, let's take a look at this.
Hat mich so ein bisschen an wo du mit diesem Feuerwehrmann da rumgemacht hast, erinnert. Du hast alles so Spiele nur. Nein, Blood Red Gamer und New World war noch nicht. Iron Harvest wird auch, glaube ich, ganz nice. Gut, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Assassin's Creed hat mich nie angefixt irgendwie. Nie. Und 98 Zuschauer, 92 Zuschauer auf Twitch, überragend. Überragend. Oh, ob wir die 100 nochmal schaffen heute. Ja, ich mag so dieses Vikings-Zeug schon, aber ich weiß nicht, ob ich mir dann deshalb... Ob ich mir jetzt unbedingt Valhalla holen soll, ich weiß nicht. 98 Zuschauer auf Steam. Steam, auf Twitch, Freunde. Im Stream wollte ich sagen. Blood Red Gamer. Oh, gar nicht so leicht. Ja, wir machen eine Kompanie. Hatten wir eigentlich schon längst vor, hat sich alles nach hinten geschoben. Wenn du Bock hast, kannst gerne mitmachen.
A cooperative dungeon crawler that tasks 3 heroes to venture down from their mountain refuge to face the abominations of the Blight, a mysterious and corrupting fog that enshrouds the land. Each player will choose a hero from one of 3 classes: warrior, forge titan's might, assassin,
Marodeuren wahrscheinlich.
or mage. My greatest power awaits. Battle a terrifying horde of monstrous enemies and colossal bosses. Each class of hero fulfills a specific role on the team to overcome mounting odds, solve clever puzzles, and synchronize their ultimate abilities to unleash massive damage. Battle through 3 distinct lands, each with several dungeons to conquer, including the eerie Gravemark.
Schrammi, nee, hast nichts verpasst. Wir sind immer noch am Warten hier.
Steel your nerves and prepare once again to enter the Blight, warrior. We are Blightbound.
Are you viewers at home still thinking about that computer? I know I am. Swoon. Oh, sorry. And now more from the PC Gaming Show.
One thing we cherish about PC gaming is its openness. The PC is a platform where anyone can build stuff, tinker, and express themselves. And that spirit invites creators, streamers, developers, stores, and all kinds of different voices to contribute.
Du kannst es auch als Einzelspieler spielen. Das ist halt schwierig, weil du musst dich ja entwickeln, ja. Und wenn du das alles ein bisschen machen willst, dass du auch gescheit spielen kannst, dann musst du schon sehr viel Zeit investieren. Und das ist ja, mega zeitaufwendig. Aber generell, du kannst alles alleine machen. Rexley, vielen Dank für deinen Follow. Freut mich. Das ist doch mal schon wieder sowas. Warum muss man jetzt auch noch Minecraft-Grafik?
In the Forgotten City, you fall into an ancient Roman utopia only to find it full of people, mysteries, and difficult moral choices. Explore an open world locked in time.
Each day I grow more and more afraid that our time in the sun is almost up. Somebody is about to end our lives. Your job is to figure out who and stop them. You already know what will happen.
Ja, du kannst alles kaufen. Je nachdem, was die Leute halt auch verkaufen. Aber es gibt nicht einfach so einen nackigen Markt, wo du kaufen kannst. Wenn keiner was verkauft im Markt, kannst du auch nichts kaufen.
Play as investigation freak Lady Love dies as they explore the world, uncover the facts, and breathe life back into paradise.
There's been a murder. Last night, Paradise was killed. I'm investigation freak Lady Love dies, reporting for duty.
Also ich habe es mir nicht geholt. Ich weiß nicht, ob sich das lohnt. Ich meine, so viel krass gibt es nicht. Da hast du, glaube ich, auch irgendwie nochmal so Kosmetik dabei.
Breathing life back into Paradise won't be easy. When love dies, all that remains are the facts. Paradise Killer, coming soon.
Haven is an RPG about the journey of two lovers escape to a lost planet to stay together.
Here we go. More rust. Good thing we don't have to scrub.
At worst, I kill them.
Whoa, you.
Oh, come on. Dodge this one. Got it. You rock. You like that?
That's gotta hurt.
Cartel Tycoon is a narrative-driven drug empire simulator where you rule as a succession of fictional drug lords in a world where death and violence are inevitable.
Was zur Hölle ist das? Ja, das glaube ich auch. Übelst am Trollen. Genau, du hast irgendwie dieses Amulett oder so. Das ist nur so ein bisschen Kosmetik dabei, aber es macht keinen Unterschied. Du hast aber genauso Zugang zur Beta etc. Du bist doch, glaube ich, nicht bevorzugt oder so. Vielleicht gibt es einen Marktplatz oder so. Und die haben Amazon nicht bezahlt. Das ist einfach das beste Spiel, was sie hier präsentieren. Und da alle Leute auf das Spiel warten, haben die gesagt, hier, gib uns das mal. Ach so, meinst du das? Ja, ja, okay, verstehe. Vergiss, was ich sagen wollte. Freunde, wir haben 50 Zuschauer auf YouTube. Haut gerne einen Daumen nach oben raus, wenn euch der Stream gefällt, würde mich freuen. Wir sind, glaube ich, gerade bei 30 oder sowas. Also wenn es euch gefällt, lasst mich gerne wissen, gebt mir einen Daumen. Für mich ist das immer sehr wichtig. Einfach so, ja, ist für mich wie so eine Note, ne? Also wenn es euch gefällt, Daumen nach oben, könnt ihr auch gerne Daumen nach unten geben, wenn es euch nicht gefällt, aber das ist wichtig für mich. Und falls es noch nicht passiert, dann werdet ihr natürlich Abonnent, würde mich freuen.
Set in a vibrant fantasy world created in collaboration with RPG veteran Chris Avallone.
Meine Augen. Meine Augen. Oh, wir kommen nicht über die 100 Zuschauer. Wir sind jetzt bei 96. Immer 98, immer 92.
Gameplay inspired by great classics and modern masterpieces.
Kazar! Leute, was geht? Guck mal, der macht's richtig. Der bedenkt sich, 22 Uhr Veranstaltung, geht 2 Stunden. Oh, Kazar, vielen Dank für deinen Sub, mein Freund. Ich habe gerade gedacht, wo kommt dieser Alert auf einmal wieder her? Aber den nehme ich gern mit. Vielen Dank.
Weird West is a curious project from the co-creators of two of our favorite games, Dishonored and Prey. Despite its top-down perspective,
Prey war auch geil. Wer hat Prey gespielt? Ja, das stimmt. Da werden so viele Spiele gezeigt, wo ich mir denke, wer zockt sowas. Aber da gibt's wohl einen Markt für. Was ist da los? Du kannst ja nichts für. Wofür? Venom, vielen Dank für dein Abo. Freut mich. Dass da nur so Schrott läuft, meinst du? Ziemlich arm. Über 3 der Games sehen. Ja, ist komisch, ne? Ist eine komische Veranstaltung. Ich glaube, die haben sich echt irgendwie so die Rechte an dieser Veröffentlichung besorgt, gesichert, gekauft, was auch immer, weil sie halt ihre Show selber ein bisschen pushen wollen. Wild West, Bitch Experience. Dishonored und Prey, das muss eigentlich nice sein, weil Prey war geil, Dishonored war ganz nice. Ist auch nicht High-End-Grafik natürlich, aber das war schon. Ja, es gibt einige Indie-Games, du hast recht. Und Prey war auch richtig nice. Wild West. Ich finde es auch schade, dass Sony keine mehr im PS Plus raus hat. So. Ja, Rainer. Sag, das ist so ein bisschen der Trend momentan, dass die alle irgendwie so zurückgehen und das.
I am awesome and eager to talk about this game, and I want to start with something very straightforward. What is Weird West?
Weird West is an action RPG that is set in an environment that is called the Weird West, and it's very much of the kind of games that I've been working on in the past, except that the perspective is more like a isometric top-down kind of view.
Yeah, I mean, we've referenced Prey and Dishonored, and we normally think of the immersive sim as first-person games like that. What happens when you try to translate that to that top-down isometric perspective?
There's not much different in the spirit. You will really find yourself at home. It's just that it's a different perspective. So instead of seeing
242 Leute für New World bei Twitch Rekord, ja. Und davon sind knapp 100 bei uns. Das ist ein Rekord. Richtig geil. Richtig geil.
But the exploration and everything is, you know, is still the same kind of spirit, but with a different perspective.
And you know, in particular for people that maybe haven't played immersive sims, I know that the whole notion of creative problem solving is a big aspect. Multiple ways to get past the same obstacle. Can you give some examples of that in Weird West?
We like games where we set up an environment for you.
Gibt ihr noch die NDA? Ja, ja.
There's a world, there are characters, there
Steven
are
Watt.
objects, and all of those objects
Das stimmt.
have got consistent story. And then there's an objective.
Oder?
For example, go inside
Jetzt kann ich mir
this
nicht vorstellen, dass sie
house
die
and frame
aufheben.
the character by putting
GTA
the
2
letter
lässt grüßen.
that he did not actually truly write, but you put it there so that the sheriff can find it, right? You could do it in a very stealthy way, which would be what you would imagine people would do. So probably use a power and put people to sleep and then get inside.
You've talked about the different things that you can do as a player in the game, but who are you? What can the player do to shape who the character is over the course of the game?
Right, so this is a very good question and also a very dangerous one for me.
It's the riskiest question yet, man.
Gleich geht's los, Matola.
You are going to play
Gleich geht's
5
los.
different characters. Once the main quest is over with the first character, you go to the next one. Now, the first one is still in the world, so you
Aber es ist gar nicht, sieht, ja gut. Ein bisschen wie...
It's a risk that we're taking.
Auf Deutsch, irgendwer muss ja, also... Aber wenn du 5, ja, wie gesagt, dieses Event ist komisch, finde ich. 75.000. Irgendwann, wenn New World das selber gestreamt hätte, wäre mehr.
Yeah, you continue to play with the same world, but now the sad thing is that that doesn't apply to your followers. Yeah, the characters that are with you, but maybe they'll come back at you someday under the form of an undead, or you don't know what's gonna happen. You can revive your followers if you're there and if you have the right tools with you, but if you don't and they die, that's it. You know, your followers are now in a little graveyard somewhere.
You make it sound cute. A precious little graveyard. Well, they will maybe come back.
Schrami, vielen Dank für deinen Follow. Freut mich.
When can people get their hands on Weird West?
So the game ships in 2021, but some of you are gonna have a chance to play a demo actually pretty soon in the incoming months. You can follow Wolfeye Studios on Twitter and as well as Devolver Digital on Twitter as well for more information about that.
Well, wonderful, Raph. Thank you so much for coming out. Once again, that is Devolver Digital, Wolfeye Studios on Twitter for that upcoming demo. For our next game, believe it or not, yet again, we're gonna go to Frankie.
Sean, I don't know about you, but there are times I wish for a simpler life. A life spent as a farmer in a humble JRPG village, where all I have to worry about is which vegetables to plant, what to name my chickens, and which of the dozen townsfolk I should propose marriage to. Our next game is a return to that simpler life. From XC Games, this is Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town.
Marvelous. I'm so happy that you've been sending in your reactions, your memes, your takes of various temperatures throughout the show. Through the wonderful magic of motion graphics, you can even read them before your very eyes right now. I'm delighted by so many of them. Furious at a few, but I'm confused by none because you're just making a lot of sense today. We're in the home stretch of the show, so please continue to let us know which PC games you're excited about by using hashtag #PCGamingShow. Now, when it comes to genres, there are few as ambitious on PC as the MMO. It requires a vast amount of resources to create a rich, living, breathing world to entertain hundreds of thousands of players for years. And I know this because I watched Season 1 of Mythic Quest. Due on closed beta on July 23rd, Amazon Games' New World aims to deliver that vast open world with pitched battles of 100 players. I'm excited to announce today that if you pre-order New World right now, you can get into that July 23rd beta a full month before the full release on August 25th. This is New World.